Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to Naviskane. Morning of day 3. We gotta head for the trader here. Turn in our quest.
So with the new update
Well, looky
and
here,
all
boys.
the new
We got
stuff they
ourselves a
added, what
real
would be
life
one of the
hero.
best weapons to
Now
go
play.
into?
Yeah, they
Here you
have a
go.
couple things
Don't
that they
spend it all
updated,
in
and
one
one of them
place.
is the stun baton. The stun baton is actually really, really good, and plus the intellect tree is also really, really good. Once you get it maxed, it basically stays charged all the time, and you can send that electricity through like 10, 15, however many zombies are in front of you, 20 or 40, it don't matter. With that, I don't know, I want to try and pair it with a rad remover, which is a mod that whenever you have radiated zombies and zombies with special effects,
I
they
got
also
work to
heal
do.
very
I'd say it's
rapidly, but a
maybe
rad
5
remover
minutes if you
prevents
want,
their
but
healing.
it would be
So I
done
want to
quick,
see if a
lot
stun
quicker.
baton coupled
Piss off
with a
fast.
rad remover will stop all radiated zombies that are just hit by the electricity from also healing, because that would be an amazing perk, because you could throw the Molotov cocktail down, hit them with some electricity, and stop their healing while the Molotov burns them, and it would make that so
Thank you
much more
very
of a
much, and
good
now you can
combo.
go.
Is that a normal rock or is this like an ore?
That is iron ore. If you hit it, it'll give you raw iron, and then you can put it in a forge and smelt it into anything else that takes iron. And then below this, there is an iron vein. So if you need a lot of it after you break this rock, you just keep hitting the ground right below it, and you can actually see it right here. And there's a vein in, just like a coal vein in real life, you can dig it out and keep going down.
Now that you did the job, I guess you ain't that damn bad after all.
Where to next, Rick?
If you want a job from, well, good luck.
Once we get more of these quests done, we'll be able to go get our bikes from the trader, and then we'll actually be able to leave this zone and travel the world.
So what will be the next area we go into and what do we have to do to be able to handle that area?
When you enter a new zone, there'll be an elemental or weather effect that you have to get a resistance to. And to get the resistance for that zone, it's called getting a badge, like a merit badge, like you're a Boy Scout or a Cub Scout. You have to complete challenges in that zone, but the weather effects make it so you can't just stay there long term and get them done. So you have to leave the zone, or some of the effects you can like take a drink and it makes it so you're immune to smoke damage when you're in the burnt forest biome. And then you have to work up while you're in that zone and work your way up through the challenges, kill so many zombies, do so much stuff, mine so much of a mineral in a certain zone. And then once you get all of that done, you get the merit badge for that zone. Then that elemental effect that was going to kill you at the beginning won't be able to kill you anymore. So you can actually live in that zone. You can build bases, do whatever you want there, and time is no longer a factor.
Okay. So if we get all the tier 1 jobs done, does the trader give us the bike?
Yeah, after we complete 10 quests, you get the option for a second reward.
Okay, I remember that from videos we watched of people playing 7 days, but I wasn't sure if that was still a thing with the update.
One of the things I do like about this game, one of the reasons it helps our channel too, is the graphics look really good, but they're not really taxing on your graphics card. Like in Helldivers, there's like always a fog or a mist. And if you have a good graphics card, it doesn't matter. But if you don't, especially on the recordings, if you watch the last Helldivers video, the fog is always there, and it just doesn't look good when it's rendered if it's not high quality. You can't remove it because it helps restrict your visual range, so it's kind of an element of the game, and it looks good in game. Even if you have it on low settings, it still looks good, and the game looks good, but then whenever you render it, it does not look good at all. But 7 Days to Die has its own unique visual style, much like, it's not as bad as Minecraft, but it's voxel based, and like World of Warcraft or something, it has its own unique styling, so they can style it a certain way so that the elements don't tax your computer so hard, but they still look good within the style of the game, which is a really intelligent design option that they chose.
Even overlooking from a distance, looking at the other biomes, like the snow biome with like the mountaintops looks really good.
Yeah, it does. It does. That's one of the nice things. Yeah, the grass, when you get up on it, even at high quality, the grass may not be high fidelity. You know, it's not like playing Final Fantasy or something like that. But it has its own unique style, its own unique quirks. And it still looks good within, especially the realm of it, because you're in an apocalypse, so everything should look kind of like ratty. Not ratty, but like run down, and kind of just the earth is being taken back by nature.
And in the apocalypse, I'm not going to be out cutting grass.
There was a heat wave the other day. I wasn't out there cutting my grass then, and it wasn't an apocalypse. It felt like it if you were outside, but there wasn't an apocalypse. I wasn't going out there. If there was a real apocalypse, I'd be able to hide from the zombies in my front yard, just lay down with the 2 foot of grass, because I would never cut that shit again. Yeah, I think the Fun Pimps did a good job on choosing their art style when they went into this. Because they've, as it's progressed, they haven't had to change their art style really. It has gotten better with the graphics updates and stuff, but they've never really changed the look and feel of the game, which is awesome. And that shows that there was enough planning and foresight back then to know that if you want to have a voxel-based video game, it's very intensive on your computer because every block can be altered. Everything in a city has to be rendered. Each city contains so many blocks, and it's not like in Final Fantasy or something where you see that building and yeah, it's made up of a lot of components that tax your computer. All of the ones in 7 Days to Die can be altered. Any block you walk up to, you can destroy. Any building you go up to, you can completely rebuild it, repaint it, rip it down, do whatever you want to do. You can blow it up with dynamite. To be able to do that and still have the game look decent, run decent, is really, really awesome.
That's actually really interesting, because I didn't know you could destroy like every single building.
Oh yeah, like I said, that's one of the things too. We may have to start rotating the horde basic. I'll do the first one and you do the second one, or you could do the first one and then I'll do the second one. But we'll start rotating the horde bases so that you can get a feel for actually building in the game, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. And sometimes we'll die a whole bunch, and sometimes we won't even get touched by the zombies. But that's one of the reasons why I was kind of leaning away from making one big base, was because I want to be able to move around and try different bases and try different things, because that's kind of fun. It gives us an opportunity to go to different zones, and then if the series progresses far enough, maybe we could build a big base in a central location and just always fight the horde there. But I like building different bases and then altering those bases weekly or something like that. We can mess around with it.
So I'm going back to the comment about like the different biome. Is there only one section of each biome? Like we're in the pine forest right now and like the snow biome's right next to us. So if we go into that snow biome, if we go out the other side, is it going to be like the burnt forest or could it be another pine forest?
Yeah, the map we're playing on is Naviscane, which has one of each biome. It was made by the developers. It's one of the original maps. They add new POIs, they updated, it's a fun map. If you do a prefab or a custom map, you can change it in the settings if you want more or less of a biome specifically. And then you can also set it up so that there can be more than one sand biome. It generates randomly, so you can kind of steer with the sliders and numbers. You can kind of steer how big a zone is, how many there are of a zone. You can make a map that's all just desert. You can make one that's all the snow biome, or you can make one that's a mixture of just those two, and it'll keep bouncing back and forth based on how the editor goes about randomly selecting the components for that map.
Okay, I was just curious because I know like the snow biome's super close to us, so I wasn't sure what was going to be on the other side of that once we get through there.
Alright, everybody, we're going to call that a night and an episode. We got to the quest limit for the day, so we're getting closer to the bike. Once we get the bike, we can go to the higher tier zones or higher tier POIs, loot a little bit more during the day, and we'll stop doing some questing. We'll still try and do a couple here and there on a couple different days, but we want to try and get some better POIs and get into a better zone for some higher tier loot. We got 4 days till the horde, so in a day or two, we'll probably just do a horde-based day, where we'll work on the horde base. Until then, we're just going to keep trying to knock out some quests and get our little jingly bike.
Thank you all for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe.